What would be the worst thing to put into a piñata? The first thing that I would think of would obviously be shit. Nobody wants that. You never want that as the piñata surprise. You never want shit to be the surprise. But then I started thinking even more. Well, first of all, there's some people that do. Okay, let's not even think about that. But beyond that, assuming you do think shit is bad, there are some things that could be worse. I was thinking my friend Smacky hates cheese. Put that into a piñata. Smacky would be like, does anyone have any shit to clean this cheese off me? Heat Proper says divorce papers. For everyone? Amazonian fire ants would be a scream, says Vorlon King. Grandma. Okay, beef chimney. You're going to put your grandma in a piñata and beat the shit out of her, huh? Okay. VWV says bees. All right. Put whatever you wouldn't want in a piñata in the comments if you want. Moving on. 37,000 and counting upvotes posted by Yup987. Today I learned for the censorship case against Ulysses, a notoriously hard novel to read, the U.S. trial judge forced himself to read the entire book so he could judge it properly. It didn't go to jury, but I'll just read a little bit of what the judge in 1933 sounded like after reading the book and delivering his decree. Woolsey, district judge. The motion for a decree dismissing the libel herein is granted, and consequently, of course, the government's motion for a decree of forfeiture and destruction is denied. So to be clear here, it sounds like the United States was literally trying to destroy a book. Unless you can take forfeiture and destruction another way. I don't think so. Anyway, then he goes on. If the conclusion is that the book is pornographic, that is the end of the inquiry and forfeiture must follow. But in Ulysses, in spite of its unusual frankness, I do not detect anywhere the leer of the sensualist. I hold, therefore, that it is not pornographic. Ulysses may therefore be admitted into the United States. You should know. Mangoes are poison. Just kidding. The entire thing is you should know mangoes are in the poison ivy family. Why you should know. Most people are allergic to, don't know this word, urushiol, I'll put it on the screen. You figure it out. Oil found in poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac, and mangoes. The oil can cause painful, itchy, and weeping rashes and wounds that can be very serious. While many people know to steer clear of the poisonous plants, they might not know that they should handle mangoes with caution. If you're picking mangoes, wear gloves and long sleeves. If you rinse them thoroughly before eating, you should be in the clear. I had a very bad reaction to mango that I still have some scarring from. Jesus. I had no clue where it was from. I delayed getting the proper treatment because poison ivy, oak, and sumac don't grow in my area. Be careful around mango. Right on. Then they link to a ncbi.nlm article, so I'm not going to click it. I'm going to assume it's legit if it's from that source. John Doe 94 says, I learned the hard way. If I recall correctly, it's mostly on the skin. I was eating mango by biting it off the skin. 1 hour later, I looked like I got a lip injection. One more. Jungle Fern says, taro elephant ears as well. I'm going to assume elephant ears is some kind of a vegetable or a fruit that I'll flash on the screen for you guys. I'll research later. I have streaks down my arms and legs from where it came in contact. Huge blisters with tons of pressure. Skin healed, but none of my freckles grew back. Whoa, that came in and took over. That's not like the Borg, is it? What kind of Star Trek entity comes in and takes over? That is the Borg, right? Assimilate? Be assimilated or something like that? And one more on the mango. Hey, cashews as well. Alcohol Prep says cashews are as well poisonous, I imagine. The fruit and nut are safe to eat, but the plant, including the shell of the nut, may be allergenic. If you find a piece of nut shell in a container of cashews, toss it out without handling it more than necessary. Today I learned that a lot of the rental apartments in Germany don't come with a kitchen. as opposed to just another room with 4 walls, and the tenant is expected to bring their own kitchen. From The Toast is Blue, nevertheless, only about 10% of rented apartments in Germany don't have a kitchen, meaning 90% of them have. Lots of apartments do come with fully functional kitchens, and some are even fully furnished. Thank you, Toast is Blue. You get an upvote for lifting the veil there. Only 10%. Zoom God, really cool viewer that leaves these cool trivia posts in the comments. The voices of Mickey and Minnie Mouse got married in real life. I thought that was very cool. Shout out to Zoom God for giving that fact. Mickey and Minnie's voices got married in real life. Okay, today I learned Robin Williams was offered and accepted the role of the Joker in the 1989 film Batman. Warner Brothers had only made the offer to bait their first choice, Jack Nicholson, into signing on, which he eventually did. Williams was furious and demanded an apology from the film studio. It's definitely devious, right? Because it deviates from an already established plan and agreement with Robin, so it's devious. By definition, right? Was it what is crafty? How do you put it? Shrewd. That's the word. It's a very shrewd thing, and I am wondering if Jack Nicholson would have even accepted had they not done that. Was the first comment by Demolisher. That's a monumentally dick move on their part to use him as a chess piece. That said, I think Robin's career did pretty well without being the Joker. 1 hour photo though has me wondering what he could have done as the Joker. Kind of an interesting what if. I never saw 1 hour photo. I think he was a bad guy. But, dude, Robin Williams. Should I do a Robin Williams Wikipedia read? You guys want to learn about Robin Williams? I'd like to learn about that guy. Man, what an inspiration. Okay, I don't want to get sad. Let me move on from this. All right, just one more. Spassky says, serious question. Why would Nicholson change his mind if they offered it to someone else? Frisk Tofferson says, if he's on the fence, he can use leverage for a better deal. If they're seriously considering someone else, he has very little leverage. Okay. Like Arnold pranking Sly into doing stop or my mom will shoot. Are you serious? Arnold pranked Sly into doing stop or my mom will shoot. I need to hear about. I have so many more Reddit things that I wanted to do though. I will after. I'll look for that after. That's crazy. Let's move on. You should know pregnancy tests from the dollar store are just as accurate as the expensive ones from a pharmacy. Look, the cheapskate in me had to put this here. I'm not at all at risk of getting pregnant, but hey, maybe some of you are. So you should know pregnancy tests from the dollar store are just as accurate as the expensive ones from a pharmacy, according to Antique Lyman, with 2,690 upvotes. Why you should know. A 3-pack of first response pregnancy tests goes for $24 at CVS. At the dollar store, you can get the same number of equally accurate tests for $3. If you need to test frequently for pregnancy, this tip can save you a bundle. What was the big rumor in your high school did turn out to be true? So we didn't have any. It wasn't high school. I remember there was one in middle school. There was a big rumor in middle school, you're 11, 12 years old or something. And the big one there was 2 of the kids had sex. And again, you remember middle school? What is that? That's like 9th and 10th. No, that's not 9th and 10th. What am I talking about? That is 9, 10, 11, 12, 7th and 8th grade. So 7th and 8th grade in the U.S. I don't know what other countries go by, but pretty young to be hearing some of your classmates actually did it. But then, yeah, they admitted to it. The 2 of them were like, whoa, they did it. And then they were kicked out. They had to go to separate schools. Because you can't have 2 kids promoting that in middle school. Are you kidding? They're running out like the mascots of that. Yeah, it was fun. That was fun, guys. You should do it. They're like, no. So they went separate ways. So that was middle school. Googly Evil Eye says, Dr. Palermo, the band teacher, never received his doctorate in music like he claimed. It was weird. He used to force all his students to address him as doctor, but when he came back from his leave of absence, we all called him by Mr. like nothing happened. Zap Squad, there was an 18-year-old freshman who was pregnant, and there was a joke spread that was her 4th kid. They said she was first pregnant at 12 years old, and that's why she never finished 9th grade. I actually made friends with her because we both talked we both walked the mile in PE, and I felt bad that people were spreading this rumor and making fun of someone who obviously is trying to better themselves for their baby. Well, turns out it was actually her 5th kid. She had one set of twins at the age of 13. Then at 14, she was trying to be a mother of 2 and finish 9th grade, but she got pregnant again and dropped out. I realize now that the entire situation was very concerning. I hope she got some guidance. Holy shit, this is fucking depressing. Let's move on. This one's weird. Here we go. Here's a way to uplift it, posted by another name I can't pronounce, XKXRLL. I apologize. 28,000 upvotes. What improved your life so much you wish you did it sooner? Credit. Final answer. That improved myself a lot, working on my credit. Super boring, I know. It is what it is. Woke is so teens says daily exercise. It doubled my energy for an hour out of my day. Cool. I'll upvote that. Never not going to agree with that. And that's just the benefit you get now. It says Darian Cipher. You have no idea the dividends you'll collect on that as you age. The key to aging gracefully is staying active. That's true. Well, one of the keys, I should say. Hyperion 0000 says low impact cardio. Fuck, I love to run, but it destroyed my legs. I can swim my little heart out. Yeah, I like that. I like the elliptical machine. Running is, you know what? I don't run. Sometimes I'll like sprint in short blasts, but I won't run. I'll walk a lot. I'll trampoline. I'll swim. Low impact though. Yeah, I gotta like my actual workout. Otherwise it can go, fuck itself. Right to Kusu. Doing at least one chore a day. You would be amazed at how well getting something done, even if you hate it, can fight back against certain depressive mentalities, particularly the ones that convince you you are useless or a burden. I'll upvote you. That's very depressing, but it's absolutely true. Oh, good. You got a lot of awards. Yeah. Doing at least a chore a day. I like chore and also being creative. I don't know if they're interchangeable, but writing something, drawing something, creating something, I find is also a really important addition. If you don't have a hobby yet, highly advise. Guitar, I'm pretty sure, saved my life. Scientist Zero says bachelor degree at 47-year-old, master degree at 50-year-old. Doubled my salary in 4 years from just getting by to on track for retiring at 60. I can't decipher that last sentence. Doubled my salary in 4 years from just getting by to on track for retiring at 60. Okay, my bad. I get it. All right, right on. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm okay with that. I know I'm going to get skewered by people with opposing views, but I'm still upvoting you. I'm not on board necessarily from what I've seen with master's degrees in every discipline. Okay, there, I said it. I'm seeing too many people get fucking roasted out there with student loans, especially in the master's degree realms, where they can't apply it in the workforce, or people don't give a shit, or the employer is offering the people the same wage for someone with a master's for someone without, just because they have some experience. And I'm actually one of the people in that boat. I work with other people that have masters, and I don't have a master's. We get the same wage, and there's just something about it. There's an injustice. I feel for the people with the master's degrees is what I'm saying. I think it's fucked up, and something needs to be done about the cost. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry to get so serious about that shit. Electronic Pain 9329 says learning to set boundaries and say no. Yeah, okay, if I can piggyback on that, there has to be a reason why, other than just saying no, in my opinion. If you want to have like a fluid, dynamic, what am I looking for? A healthy relationship, okay? Like, why are you saying no? For me, it's because I want to go to sleep, because I want to relax. Learning to set boundaries. That's the whole thing, is like, if someone asks if I have plans, it's especially difficult for me because you know what? I'll actually say it. Tetrex asked me in the comments the other day, any girlfriend, any this, any that. No girlfriend, no kids, no real responsibility, if you will. I'm just being straight honest with you. So when someone asks if I have plans, very difficult for me to actually kind of say no unless I have plans with someone else, when the reality is I really enjoy sleeping and relaxing, as do most people, you know. But this, yeah, learning to set boundaries and say no, it's difficult, isn't it? When a friend's like, hey, you want to go do such and such, or come with me to do such and such. And if you just want to be honest and you're like, nah, I'm just going to stay here and sleep. It's a weird thing to say, isn't it? What's your take on that? Am I being a little psycho about that? Is it okay? Is I want to stay here and sleep a good enough excuse to tell your friends if you're going to go out? Or do you have to make up an excuse? Is that not a good enough excuse? Nope, thanks. I'll just stay here and sleep. Jason Zero says, moved away from the state I grew up in. I didn't know how unhappy I was. I had gotten used to being miserable. And now that now that I'm in a better area, I'm a completely different person. Yeah, man, I'm going to upvote you. I totally get that. You move, you change your environment. I'm really curious what state you were in. Sonic Underground, I did this move halfway around the world. It's amazing how much background stress is gone when I finally accepted I was just not meant to be where I was. I miss my family, but we stay in regular contact, and I have a lovely found family here. Sometimes just get up and getting out of place isn't for you is the best course of action. I think I read that too fast, but I get your... Yeah, here you go. Polkasaurus says, where did you move from and to? I'm curious. Did they respond? I moved from LA to the Gold Coast in Australia. I miss my family, but never see myself moving back. It's too good here. Isn't the Gold Coast in Australia where they have every poisonous monster known to man? Like they literally all, that's their home base. And then they just leave sometimes for conventions around the world. That's where like the terrible monster creatures go on vacation. That's their home base, but they leave there to go on vacation, I think. Am I crazy? Not like I don't want to go visit Australia. I'm not trashing it or anything, but it is what it is. It's just like on Ask Reddit, when people ask all the people, hey, non-Americans, what's the first thing you think of when we ask you what you think of America? It's like gun emoji, gun emoji, gun emoji, right? Fair enough. I'm not criticizing you, but I'm just saying when someone's like, hey, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Australia? I think monster spider bigger than the size of your head, just in your house. That's what I think of. I think sharks, I think snakes, I think gnarly jellyfish, the tiny ones, like the most poisonous in the world that kill you with one sting. That's what I think of when I think of Australia. And the Opera House, that's fine. Crocodile Dundee. Steve Irwin. A lot of good things about Australia. Let's move on. Today I learned that Johnny Appleseed planted apples for manufacturing booze and selling land to pioneers, not to help spread fruit across the land. But that's even more American. Yeah? Capitalism? I'm going to upvote this because I like the fact. Johnny Appleseed planted apples for manufacturing booze and selling to land pioneers. That's awesome. He's like, this land would look way nicer with apples. He's right. Oh, this guy was a genius. First comment. Today I learned Johnny Appleseed was actually a real dude. Yeah. I don't think I knew that either. I thought it was just a song. And I also just realized I confused that song with Davy Crockett. Is there a Johnny Appleseed song? Johnny Appleseed. I'm making up a song. Drones buried in Fort Wayne off Harry Balls Drive. Yes, Balls is pronounced like you'd think, and that's not a joke. Johnny Appleseed is buried in Fort Wayne off of Harry Balls Drive. Dude, this is the best ever. That should be the headline. How is that not the headline of this? Okay, Johnny Appleseed planted apples for manufacturing booze and selling land to pioneers, and after he died, he was buried on Harry Balls Drive. Cucumber Basil says, if it's not a joke, then why is it so funny? I'm going to upvote you. That's true. And MN Fan 84 says, I go camping in the Dick Bong State Forest every year too. What are some other funny ones? I live up the road from Whore Island. No, you. Okay, Lead Piper Promoter says, okay, Frank Reynolds. You're thinking of an Always Sunny thing. I'm thinking of Anchorman. Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island? Okay, we're getting too in the weeds. What's another one? Tracy Gee says, that's a bit simplistic. Cider was a main beverage during those times. Oh, and so like alcoholic cider, right? 6.2 thousand upvotes, so people are serious about that one. Darehead says it goes even further than this. Apple seeds don't produce apples that are the same thing. Hold on, I think there's a raccoon under the house. Give me a sec. I don't know. Darehead says it goes even further than this. Apple seeds don't produce apples that are the same as their parent tree. Same with avocados. In order to find a new apple that is appealing, you have to keep planting seeds, waiting for the tree to fruit, then seeing if that fruit is any good. You just have to experiment until you find an apple you like. Once you do, you start grafting the limbs of that tree onto other trees, effectively cloning the original tree's fruit. What if I already told you? We read about this in another video. That's how many of these videos we've done now. We've talked about the fact that no apple is the same. Let's move on. That's enough about Johnny Appleseed. Moving on to Thomas Jefferson. Today I learned Thomas Jefferson didn't believe it was possible for animal species to go extinct and had believed that mastodons, giant sloths, and dinosaurs existed in the American West. He asked Lewis and Clark to bring back living mastodons. That's a pretty crazy task to be asked, right? Mastodons, for those of you that don't know, I actually looked it up because I didn't even know. I know they're a metal band, but mastodon is a small woolly mammoth, or a smaller woolly mammoth, from what I read on Wikipedia. RTB 408 says a whole generation grew up believing in the lost continent where surely there were still dinosaurs. Whoa. Ninja Trash Panda says, to live in a world where there is still enough mystery to hope. We were born too late to explore the earth and too early to explore the stars. I almost want to downvote that. That is depressing as shit. We live in an awesome time, man. Do I need to talk about all the cool shit that we have right now? Murakami 8000 says, there's a pretty good comic based on this premise called Manifest Destiny. Huh. They made a comic of it. Z Kenny 13 says, I'm sure the first words out of their mouths was fucking how. Upvote the hell out of you, man. If I could give an award, I would. Yeah, that's the other thing I was thinking is like, okay, cool, President Jefferson, you want us to wrangle mastodons? Like, say we find them anywhere, you want us to just lasso the mastodons and tow them with our horses and buggies? What did Lewis and Clark even have? Was Thomas Jefferson fucking nuts? I gotta learn more about this guy. And let's read another comic because we're almost done. I think this is the last one. I don't know how long we've been going. Funk Boxing says, easier to think stuff like that up until humans saw Earth from orbit. The world probably seemed conceptually infinite until you could see exactly how finite it is. That's weird. Infinite and then finite. Infinite. Finite. No one says finite, huh? Well, fuck it. I'm going to start saying infinite then. Last one. And this is specifically for Jake Scooter and Smacky. Today I learned people downloaded computer games over the radio in the 1980s. Did you guys know that? I feel like Smacky might have known this. Today I learned people downloaded computer games over the radio in 1980s. How do you guys know? I didn't know about this. I read about it. Now I do. It was from amusingplanet.com. People once downloaded games from the radio. Bought an article back from 2019, actually amusingplanet.com by Kaushik Patare. Sorry if I murdered your name. The year 1977 was an important year in the history of home computing. That year, the world's first microprocessor-driven personal computer was released, not one, not two, but three different models by three different manufacturers. The highly successful Apple II, the Commodore PET, and the TRS-80. I thought that was a calculator, which actually outsold the Apple II by a factor of 5 until the early 1980s. All these machines and the ones that came after had cassette tapes for mass storage because hard disk drives were still very expensive. It was only during the 1980s that personal computers started offering hard drive storages, first as peripherals and later as internal drives. The cassette tapes that these early computers used to store programs and data were the same audio cassettes we used to listen to music before digital music players such as iPods and smartphones became popular. The use of audio cassettes as storage was one of the factors that helped the initial adoption and growth of personal computers because it brought down the total cost of owning well, it says owing one, but it should say owning one. Before long, kids were swapping programs and games on audio cassettes the same way they swap music. In the early 1980s, engineers over at the Dutch broadcasting organization Nederlands Omroep Stichting, NOS, had this fantastic idea of distributing computer programs over the radio. Because programs and data were stored on audio cassettes, it was possible for these data cassettes to be played back on a cassette player, and the resulting audio, which sounds very much like a dial-up modem, was broadcast over the radio waves. Listeners recorded the audio onto cassettes and loaded the programs onto their computers, is what it should say. The radio program named Hobby Scoop became wildly popular. They even developed a new format called Basic Code to ensure maximum compatibility between different personal computers that were available at the time. Broadcasting computer programs over radio turned into a craze, and several radio stations in different European countries started doing it. In Finland, a similar show went on air on the YLE public radio station. In 1985, a plot program was broadcasted and successfully downloaded 600 kilometers away from the station. In Yugoslavia, a show called Ventilator 202. That's very 80s. Ventilator 202 on Radio Belgrade became very popular among computer geeks, broadcasting about 150 computer programs between 1983 and 1986. These included programs for mathematical calculations, short educational programs, mini encyclopedias, simple games, and even a flight simulator. How cool is that, man? I am not going to... They transmitted that, pictures, all sorts of stuff. I won't finish it off. I just thought that was really cool that they could do that. Those were the first. Are they freaks? What would that be considered? It's not hacking necessarily, because they're not trying to get into someone else. But if they're using radio waves, what would that be considered? Freaking? What the hell is that? What is transmitting actual data onto a cassette through the airwaves called? Is that even a thing? Whatever. Okay, oh my god, I didn't do a trivia thing. I gotta figure out, tell you what, I'll do the trivia in the description of this video, because you guys are cool. So good luck to you. Let me know if you want me to read anything, and I'll talk to you guys in the comments. Bye bye.